Normally, this place wouldn't even be open on a Monday night, but for Game 1 of the College World Series Finals, they got a packed house. The last time the Saltillo Tigers won a state championship in baseball, you couldn't Google the final score. It's because Google didn't exist in 1972. Now, I'm not even from Mississippi, and even I couldn't leave the store without buying a shirt. While it'll be about a 50-50 split between fans inside Davis-Wade, close to 90% of the officers working the Egg Bowl will be from out of town. Frazier's exploits on this field are what put him on the path that led to Alcorn State 2 Super Bowl rings and an NFL coaching career. The 2021 5A state title is coming home to Heritage Academy. Just inside of the football field, there are still piles of debris left in the wake of that EF5 tornado all those years ago. The Challenger League has been here in the Golden Triangle, providing a place to play baseball out under the lights for those who otherwise may not have gotten the chance. The manager tells me that close to 2,000 championship t-shirts were dropped off this morning, but nearly 2 hours later, half of those were gone. After years of being on the outside looking in, Mississippi State players will be among the first college athletes to get the chance to share in the profits of their play on the field.
They knew what they accomplished. They didn't have to be told. They didn't have to be celebrated. They knew what they accomplished.
10 years ago, Bubba Tacker could barely recognize the football field he had called home for so long as both player and head coach of the Smithville Seminoles.
Everything's just gone.
Just inside of the football field, there are still piles of debris left in the wake of that EF5 tornado all those years ago.
Football is just one part of those things that just brought life to the community. People gathered, people celebrated.
In just 10 seconds, it was all gone. But it wouldn't stay that way.
Smithville kids are tough. They always have been, and that's something about them.
To rebuild their town, they had to rebuild the football field.
Everybody was sitting down out on the field with 5-gallon buckets, picking up rocks, glass, nails.
Just months after the tornado wiped it out, the Seminoles were back on their home field. Former running back Turner Sanderson says he can't remember who they played that first game. He just remembers how they got there.
There wasn't a school around. There wasn't a rival or an enemy around per se that didn't offer us literally the jersey on their back.
One of the school's greatest gifts came from Hatley.
Hatley kids are brought up to beat Smithville, and Smithville's brought up to beat Hatley.
The storm displaced all students in Smithville. For the kindergarten through 6th graders, it meant the unthinkable, attending school at Hatley.
Of course, they had banners up. I think they were all dressed in maroon and white, just to take care of those kids.
It was a season of goodwill that will never be forgotten.
It meant a lot that there wasn't a missed season. We have achieved something. We are rebuilding here. As a community as a whole, that's something to smile about.
In the days just after the tornado, Tacker remembers getting a call from an elderly woman in Tremont.
Told me she had something in her yard that belonged to us and was sure we needed it back. Said it was our scoreboard off the football field. Kind of bent up a little bit.
But still there.
Yeah, it's still there. Still there.
Just like the team, just like the town.
I used to sit down and watch WCBI and see who some of the heroes were in our area, and would one day hope that I could ascend to greater heights. I wanted to be able to, do well in Columbus, but I wanted to go beyond Columbus.
Nearly 1,000 miles from Columbus, Lee High School alum and Friendly City native Leslie Frazier is very much beyond the town where he grew up as he prepares for another season as defensive coordinator and assistant head coach for the Buffalo Bills. But don't think he's forgotten his hometown. Last week, Frazier surprised the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Golden Triangle with yet another generous donation.
And I was one of those young kids growing up at that point. And those programs that are provided by the Boys are some of the programs that kept me from getting in trouble.
Frazier's exploits on this field are what put him on the path that led to Alcorn State 2 Super Bowl rings and an NFL coaching career of over 20 years. But without the programs with the Boys and Girls Club, Frazier says he might have never found that path.
It just kept me from, going down a path that would have kept me from becoming the person I am today.
For Frazier, he says the safe environment and stability of the organization helped him get involved and even gravitate towards sports.
I mean, just being able to over and shoot basketball, play around with the guys and other students.
As part of his mission of giving back, Frazier hopes other kids at the Boys and Girls Club and all over Columbus can look at what he's done and believe they can do it too.
I hope that I'm able to model that your dreams and aspirations can come true, even from little bitty Columbus, Mississippi, that you can reach great heights.
Following Saturday's emotional comeback win against Auburn, Mississippi State head coach Mike Leach has a plan when it comes to making sure his guys stay focused. The key is to practice well and not get too high. And that's not the easiest thing to do after the team pulled off the greatest comeback win in program history. They were down 28-3 at one point, and directly following the game, the team definitely rode the emotions, Leach included. Not the best dance moves there from the headman, but in his defense, he doesn't dance all that often. That may be the most jubilant we see Leach following any of State's future wins.
I would not count on a lot of dancing, and to be honest, I hate dancing. Caught about a week, 7 seconds on my part, and they tried to get me to do it. And I was afraid they might dump something over my head if I didn't, like water and worst of all Gatorade. So I figured, I better comply, which I did. I threw my arms up in the air a little bit just to let them know that I was really giving it a good try. And I do think I outdid Elaine on Seinfeld, but, and then, as soon as I thought I was safe to stop, I did.
Now, offense has never been a problem for Ole Miss, but questions have always abounded with that defense. But 11 weeks into the season, it looks like those questions have been answered. Ole Miss leads the SEC in sacks with 35. Senior defensive end Sam Williams broke the school's single-season sack record by week 10. And on Saturday, it was the defense that led Ole Miss to victory, securing 2 fourth-quarter turnovers against 11th-ranked Texas A&M. Williams credits the experienced guys on the defense, for this year's turnaround.
We know what we can do. Last year it was so many close games, and like we call them old heads. Like we the old heads. Basically, the old heads. Like we tell the younger guys, bro. Like y'all don't understand that feeling. Like dang, we almost beat Bama. Dang, we almost beat Auburn. Dang, we almost beat these guys. And now we have a chance to do it. So. Like, why not do it? Like, that's the whole point. Like, why not do it? Like, what's holding us back? So we separated those things that's holding us back, took them out of the equation, and now look where we at now.
High school football playoffs are heating up, and Week 12 did not disappoint. Let's check out the top 5 plays from Week 12.
WCBI Sports End Zone Top 5 Plays of the Week is brought to you by Max Health Broadband, Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford Lincoln of Starkville, and the Bank of Vernon.
Number 5, from our game of the week, Choctaw County and Baldwin. Jamari Marshall finds Johnny Harper, who breaks free for a big gain of 50 yards. Baldwin wins 30-14 and will host Charleston this week. Number 4, East Webster East Union. Zy Ford had himself a night. Here's his 39-yard touchdown. He had 192 yards and 3 TDs in the win over the Urchins. They'll host LaFleur County this week. Now coming in at number 3, West Alabama, Pickens County, and Winterboro, Javion Bell finds Antonio Coleman for a 41-yard TD on the screen pass. Tornadoes won 38-16. They play Decatur Heritage Christian Academy this week. Coming in at number 2, it's Winona and Noxubee County. Darion Townsend, he's been sensational all season long. Check out this 67-yard TD that helped his team knock off Noxubee County. They'll visit North Panola on Friday. Now, coming in at number 1, it's Caledonia and Pontotoc. Darius Triplett looks like he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage, but somehow, someway, he escapes and explodes for a 67-yard touchdown. Caledonia wins 27-8. And they'll play Louisville this week. That'll do it for sports. We'll be right back.